Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back and we're doing a best of one Strixhaven draft. So rare is Witherbloom Command, which I agree with commenters is the worst command. I mean, it still does things, but probably not enough where we need to slam dunk first pick it. I'm kind of looking, maybe environmental sciences would be a good pick. It's a lesson, it's a solid lesson to search up. Gives you a nice little tool in the toolkit for your learn cards. Doesn't commit you to any color. Might be worse than maybe like Pigment Storm, which I actually kind of come around on. Plumb the Forbidden is better than I initially gave it credit for too. I mean, there's some good cards in here. I'll go environmental science. Pick one. We'll start prioritizing lessons and learning a little bit higher. I do like that this doesn't commit me to anything and gives me a nice tool for all of my learn cards. All right, follow-up pick. So we can take the removal in Mage Hunter's Onslaught. There's another lesson here, but I mean, tough to go wrong with hard removal. I mean, this is cheaper than Pigment Storm too, so I definitely think it's probably better. Maelstrom Muse in here, pretty good multicolor card. I feel like just going with the monocolor removal is probably the safest pick. And I like the utility of environmental science better than elemental summoning, I would say. I mean, it's good to have... There's a lot of summoning lessons. There's really only one lesson that lets you find lands that I can think of. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's another one I'm not thinking of. But yeah, I think we just go removal here and be happy about it. And if we do this, we either are going to end up Witherbloom or Onslaught. If we do end up, or Onslaught or a Silver Quill. If that card pans out, okay. So pick 3. I think the best card is probably Mage Duel, just good removal. There's a Pledge Mage, which would keep us more in line with the Onslaught. If I take the Mage Duel, I could also end up Quandrix or Witherbloom. There's Introduction to Annihilation, which is yet another pretty good lesson to have access to, just to kind of deal with everything card, albeit at an expensive cost. A lot of times this card is just not enough, but sometimes it is enough. And having access to that is quite good. So maybe we just take Mage Duel here. Solid removal. Certainly better, I would think, than a Pledge Mage, especially this early. Yeah, let's just take the removal. All right, so we do have Introduction to Prophecy, which is a playable lesson, though not a very exciting one. Biomathematician, which I actually like quite a bit. You get 2 bodies in one, but probably Frost Trickster is the wiser pick here. This lesson is not exciting enough to take over solid playables, whereas environmental science, I think, on the other hand, is definitely. It's a mana cheaper, guaranteed to get a land, and you gain life, whereas this costs more mana and doesn't really guarantee you anything. It draws you a card and increases your card quality, and it's basically just like a Ponder. Or a Preordain, rather. Let's just take the Frost Trickster. It's a solid card. It's evasive. It taps things down. It's got good tempo. It's less color intensive than Biomathematician. I think that's a safe pick. Okay. So the pick now. Another lesson, summoning lesson, which is good. There's Spectre of the Fens, which flies and is playable. There's Burying Books, which is playable removal. Zephyr Boots, which is a good card. I don't play it too terribly often, but getting evasion is nice. Once again, it's pretty non-committal color-wise, which is good. I don't know what I'm craziest about here. I feel like taking Zephyr Boots is totally fine. I mean, Spectacle Mage is very good for the right archetype too. I might just take the boots and kind of see what colors are flowing before I pull it, because none of these cards are like so insane that I need to pick them. So I kind of want to just see what's open, and if I do end up getting Zephyr Boots, or since I got the Zephyr Boots, I can play it in pretty much any archetype. I really like Lash of Malice quite a bit. 1 mana removal. It's a nice tool to have in the toolkit. Otherwise, there's another Silver Quill Pledge Mage, which is good. Aerialist, which is evasive, it has Ward, also good. Containment Breach, certainly a playable lesson. Although there's really not too terribly many artifacts and enchantments I'm scared of in this format. We also don't have any learn cards yet. I'll take the Lash. I like it. Solid removal. We already have the Onslaught, so could work out. Okay, well, we have a Mage Duel. In black, there's Arrogant Poet, Dissector, and Promising Dusk Mage. None of those are terribly exciting. Some pretty playable blue stuff in Vortex Runner and Snow Day. I could see maybe taking the Blood Researcher. It's a very important card for the Witherbloom archetype, and decent chance we could make that work. I'd have to give up a Lash and Mage Hunter's Onslaught if I started playing the blue cards, because blue-black's not really a thing. I think we'll take the Researcher. It's an important common for the archetype, like I said, so I'm okay with that. Here, black, red, and green, red are not a thing, so that really wouldn't work. Could take the Elemental Masterpiece. Pretty far away from that, too. Could take the Expel. That puts us more in like a Silver Quill direction, I guess. As of now, would I rather play... I mean, we still could end up Quandrix, too. I'm kind of just feeling my way through this. Realistically, it seems like Expel would be the one card in there that we would probably play. I mean, we can theoretically splash because of environmental science. Might have to just take a Dusk Mage. Not a very exciting pick here, but still just trying to get my finger on exactly what we're playing here. Actually, I'd probably take the big play. I wouldn't play a Dusk Mage. I think big play, there's a chance I would play. Late Elemental Masterpiece. There's Biomathematician, which is quite good. Especially pick 10. That could be a sign for Quandrix. And maybe splashing black doesn't seem super likely, but of all the picks in here, I would say Biomathematician is definitely standing out as the best. None of these cards are terribly exciting. Maybe we'll just take an Archivist in case we need a late game thing. It's also colorless. Divine Gambit in white for Silver Quill. It's honestly pretty playable, and otherwise just a bunch of red cards. So all right, take the Summoning, get the lesson in case Silver Quill happens. Definitely seems like red is way open. Problem is, I feel like I don't want to pivot, but who knows? Well, Sparring Regimen, I guess. It's a very, very good card. Some good cards in here in general. Trickster, Professor, Remorse is playable. Fortifying Drought, good for Witherbloom. I think we can take the Regiment. I really like this card a lot. It can take games over pretty quick. So that might be the sign we need to go more. Well, with how open red is, maybe we are doing a full-fledged pivot to Lorehold. It's possible. For now, let's focus on white now that we have the Sparring Regimen. Although, then we're immediately passed back with 0 white we're looking for. Should we just assume red's open because of how open it was? Could take like an Enthusiastic Study. It's not a very exciting pick. I mean, the full pivot to Lorehold might be challenging, but there's really no white card here to take. I'm going to assume red's open and take the Enthusiastic Study. Okay, so now we can take an Historian, get a 2-drop. There's a Hunt for Specimens, which I would love if we were sticking a black, but then do I just go back to Silverquill route? I mean, Hunt is way better than Illustrious Historian, but yeah, I mean, we do have 2 pretty solid lessons already. Maybe Silverquill is the direction I'd rather go anyway. All right, we'll take the Hunt. Go for Silverquill. Expel is fine. I don't really like it all that much, but it's fine. Hunt is just quite good. I think we want some learn, get some more lessons. Rise of Extus is quite good. Intro to Annihilation is a good one to get, but Rise of Extus is very good. Removal, that also lets you learn. And yes, I think we're late enough in the draft now where we really have to just, buckle down and actually commit to an archetype, because we need quite a few playables at this point. So we'll take the Rise of Extus. We have one whole creature card, huh? I guess this is a creature too. All of our learn cards count as creatures, so that makes me feel a little bit better. All right, we'll take Rise of Extus. So Owlin Shield Mage, solid playable. Otherwise, we could take another lesson. But Shield Mage is quite good. So we'll take that. Evasive, good ability, good upside. Professor of Symbology is great. Combat Professor is very good too, though. And it flies. But it's really tough to go wrong with the Professor, because this is an uncommon for a reason. 2 mana, 2/1s that are uncommons seem weird, but not when they just generate card advantage. Straight up card advantage. So I think we actually do take it over Combat Professor, which is a great card. And Assistant would be absolutely fine in here too. But I'm going to take the Professor just because I really think it's that good. So we can take Anatomy or Study Break. It's also Silverquill Campus. Maybe just take the Anatomy. It's an excellent card to have in the toolkit. And at this point, we would have Find Land, Get Creature, or Buff Creature. All of those are quite good. I think Study Break would be a fine pickup too, but I'm going to take the Lesson this time. A good balance of Learn and Lesson is important. Inkling Summoning is a fantastic one to get. Once again, we'll take that over a Learn card. The toolkit is growing. I guess we'll take a Spirit Summoning now. Red is still open, but that's okay. I guess we can take the white, the Guardian here. I don't think it's a great card, but can block in a pinch. None of these cards are on color. We'll let them all flow. Well, we need a lot of playables to make this deck work now. Decent chance we just end up... yeah, we can play some Lessons in a pinch. So, it's not a huge deal. Like, if we have to play a main deck Spirit Summoning, it's not the end of the world. It's just a hard to cast 3 mana 3/2. But if we have to do it, we have to do it. It's okay. So we're up to 5 creatures, I guess. Alright. Strixhaven Stadium. I don't think we have time to mess around with that. We need to find some actual playables. Pillar Drop Rescue is a good card. I wish it could bring back more things. But currently it does bring back a Professor. And I guess an Ageless Guardian if we have to play that. It also flies. Otherwise, there's Spectre of the Fens, which is fine, but the upside of Pillar Drop Rescuer is pretty good. Study Break, if we are able to wheel it, can also count as a creature, which is good. And like I said, all of our learn cards count. Like Sparring Regimen counts as a creature too, so we can assume our creature counts a little higher than it appears. So Stonerise Serpent, Star Pupil, Pledge Mage, Show of Confidence. And there's also Spirit Summoning. Probably just take the Pledge Mage. Spirit is fine too, but I like Pledge Mage quite a bit. So we'll take that. Professor now. I think we actually need creatures more than removal. Although, what do we have? Lash, Gambit, Expel, Onslaught, Rise. Yeah. Probably just take the flyer now. Just take the Professor. It's a great card. Okay, another Inkling Summoning? I think so. I like Eager First Year too, but especially if we're able to get a Learn card, if we're able to wheel one, having an extra summoning is great. Yeah, like Guiding Voice is totally playable. It's a little less playable here, but how many Learn cards do we have currently? I don't think we have that many, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. It's not bad. I guess we already have an Anatomy, so I'll just take the Guiding Voice. Study Break now is totally fine. Counts as a creature, can buy us some time. Lets us learn. Another Professor is a great pickup. We already have an Environmental Science, so we're good on that front. I can take Star Pupil. I don't think it's a very good card for us because we have a Guiding Voice that synergizes with it, but I guess we also have the Expanded Anatomy. And we technically need some creatures. I guess we'll take it. Not really what I'm looking for, but I guess it has synergy with Sparring Regimen too. And sometimes it just chump blocks and pumps a creature. It's not the worst. Not the worst is not a glowing endorsement for a card, but we're a little bit playable light, so we'll take what we can get. So we got the Study Break back. We'll take the second one because we still have quite a few tools to find. We can take the Stonerise Spirit. It flies. It randomly can make other things fly, although yeah, it's probably better than Star Pupil, I would guess. Could take the Pass Caller, but yeah, I mean, theoretically we could splash that. There's no other real option here because we did get the Lowerhold Campus, so take an Excavated Wall, I guess. Doesn't matter. All right. So, probably going to have to play a lesson or two because I don't think we're going to splash the Return Pass Caller, although, well, we could. With Environmental Science and all the Learn cards we have, we could. That is a possibility. So 11 creatures, but there's more than that. We can count all Learn cards as creatures, so that's 12. 13, 14. This is a creature, 15. 16. 17. So we have like 17 creatures. That's not bad. But we are a little bit playable light, so we probably have to run probably one Inkling Summoning. Main deck is fine. Because then we still have another Summoning to find, 2 Spirit Summonings, EVS, and Expanded Anatomy. Do I want to, is it worth it to splash for Pass Caller? I mean, I could see that definitely being a good argument. With a Campus and 1 red mana and all of our learn cards being able to find, I could see the argument. This card is quite strong, albeit expensive. So probably run 1 Summoning, Inkling, and then we can do Lorehold Campus, and 1 Mountain to find with Environmental Science. What do we got color-wise? Way more white and black. So what if we do like 7? Or do we do like 8? And then 7. And then 1 red to find with Environmental Sciences. Somewhere. There we go. Kind of okay with this. Do have a double black, but that's the only one. Yeah, I mean, this deck is not phenomenal, but a good amount of evasion in it, actually. Decent blockers. I don't know. I mean, it's going to have to do. It's what we've got, but I don't think it's bad. It's weird, but I don't think it's bad. So, all right, we're going to splash the Pass Caller because we can and see how that works out for us. But yeah, this is the deck. We'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1. All right, this is definitely a keep. And we can use the hunt to get our Environmental Science, so even if we miss a land drop, we've got our red mana, which is good. Alright, I think we'll just do the sparring regimen now. And we'll dig up, what do we want to dig up? Probably the Inkling Summoning. I mean, we could actually take Expanded Anatomy, because it's not like we have a shortage of creatures. Or evasive creatures, for that matter. I could see taking the Anatomy here, actually. So the Professor is going to be pretty good here. So we can go Professor into Shield Mage. Then potentially Environmental Science Professor as a turn option, which isn't bad. Okay. So I can do this Shield Mage. Trying to think what else I can do. I can do Expanded Anatomy plus Study Break. Two. I mean, these are both pretty good, or I can do the combat. I mean, best use of mana just says Shield Mage, which I think we want to do. So let's just get in there. Get the Shield Mage online here. This way we have 2 threats. Sure. Okay. All right. So we can go Environmental Science, get our red mana, play a Professor, attack with both. I think we do that. So we'll get our red mana, play it, Professor, and we do double trigger, so this will get pumped. This will get pumped in Vigilance. Attack with both, and put the counter on this. Getting in for 9. Okay. So we have the Study Break to tap things down. We have the Expanded Anatomy. The Shield Mage is a big threat right now when they're at 5 life. Targeting Shield Mage is a problem. So they had to tap out for that, which does mean we're going to kill them here. They had a lot of mana, though. I'll give them credit there. They had enough to do Snow Day plus draw, too. That is not cheap. All right. We'll see for the next one. Okay, well, it's a keep. Star Pupil might have to do a loot or 2 for us. We'll see. That was a good draw. So we'll do Pupil into Professor, and Professor can dig up, what do we want it to dig up? Oh, I'll trade a Star Pupil for a Shock all day long. So, do I want the environmental? We have too much land. I don't think we want environmental science. We're probably just looking at another threat here. Summoning into Professor. I like that. There's a good draw. So we'll get in for 2 and play the summoning. I think we're main decking a summoning too. I forgot about that. That's right. No plays. Well, that's surprising. All right. Well, we're gonna do the professor here. See if it gets heated, debated. No. Sure. So we got a burying books out of there. This is how good Professor of Symbology is. It dug up a card and got rid of a pretty decent removal card from them there, so that's nice. Alright, so we can do the Zephyr Boots now and then equip it to the Professor. And we can get in and do some looting. And I guess we'll ditch the black mana. And we'll play a land and pass. And I guess we won't be able to do Rise of Exodus now, but we have Expel if they attack with the Serpent. Could have ditched the Lash of Malice, I guess. Sure. Well, I guess now I'm glad I didn't. Sure. So, oh, well, that worked out. Do I want to do the Rise of Exodus now? Oh, I have to loot off of this, don't I? Yeah. What am I digging up with Rise of Exodus? I guess, I mean, we got him on a 2-turn clock anyway. I think I'm just going to expel the Serpent. We have him on a 2-turn clock is my only reason why I'm doing it this way. Unfortunately, like I said, I will have to loot. Which is unideal, but it worked out. I just got rid of a land. Didn't need it anyway. And now they have to kill one of our guys. Even if they do, we have Rise of Exodus to find another one. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, we're on the play. We have both colors. I don't really want to mull this, to be honest. It's pretty expensive stuff, but if we get like one of our learn cards, we can get Environmental Sciences. If we get a land, we can at least play the Pledge Mage. Like, I feel like this hand has enough going on where I should probably keep it. Now I can just drop a Sparring Regimen too to dig up Environmental Science, which is good. Alright, so we can do that right away. Or I can do the Pledge Mage now. Let's see. If I do Regimen, dig up Environmental Science. I feel like it would still set me a little bit behind. I'm trying to think how to most wisely do this. I'm going to go Pledge Mage first. My thinking is, if I draw a land, I'm in great shape. If I don't, I can do the Regimen, dig up the Environmental Science. But if I do the Regimen now and dig up Environmental Science, I feel like it's less good. Now I just do Professor. Going for 4. So we don't have Onslaught mana yet, but that's not a big deal. Professor's fine. So we got the 5th mana, that's good. So we could do the Pillar Drop Rescue. Or we can do the Regimen now. Let's do the regimen. Not the best use of mana, but could do expanded anatomy or can do environmental science. I think we're actually doing the science, believe it or not. It seems weird, I know, but my thinking is I can do this, do EVS, Pledge Mage gets flying, get our black mana, so then we can Rise of Extus. We're going to give Professor Vigilance, get in for 6, and pump my Professor. So it's a good trade for us. We've got removal that finds creatures, hard removal otherwise, rescue that can get back Pledge Mage. I'm liking where we're at right now. So they know about this swamp. Best use of mana is just Rise of Extus. I think I'm okay with that. Deal with this thing. And just get another flyer. Get in for 5. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, we've got a good keep here. Removal, ways to make evasion, ways to get our dudes back. Oh, I guess we can play this. Leech Fanatic, huh? Alright. Well, I'm just going to kill that now before they get a chance to protect it. Sure. Ooh, Professor. That's a good one, but we're going to go Pledge Mage first here. Then next turn we can equip plus play a Professor. Professor might need to find... I don't know yet. I gotta think about that. Spectre's fine. So, yeah, we can still equip here. So we'll get in and loot. Loot or trade, either one's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So we'll drop second black, play the Professor. And at this point, what do we need? So we have 2 creatures coming up. This one's going to get back another creature. This would let us splash for red more easily. You can never really go wrong with an Inkling summoning, but Expanded Anatomy would be good too. I think given the fact that we've got a bunch of creatures coming up, I'll probably just take the Anatomy. I could trade here, but I think I'll take it. Study break's obviously not bad. Let's see. So I can attack with Professor and play the Pillar Drop Rescuer. I can do Expanded Anatomy, attack. They would have to trade both of their guys. It feels like a pretty good trade for me, actually. I'm going to do that. And I guess I don't even have to offer the trade, do I? No, I guess not. Alright. Let's just get Vigilant and do this then. And we have to loot. We'll dump probably Archivist. The Study Break can buy some time and find things. They attack with everything we're going to block. They use removal, probably playing the Professor so I can keep their dudes back. Oh, wow, this guy's way strong. So let's go. Having 6 here is actually very nice. So now we can at least go Professor and get Vigilant. What can Pass Caller? Pass Caller can get back Expanded Anatomy at some point. Study Break. Do I dump the Rescuer? Because then at least I can Study Break, find Science to get back, get the red mana, to play the Pass Caller, to get back Expanded Anatomy. That might be worth it. As good as Rescuer is, man, that's tough. I could see letting them attack here. Because if I do the Study Break before attacks, they might leave a couple dudes back. So I almost want them to attack here. And in fact, they don't even want to, so that's perfect. Tap those, get our Science. So now we can at least go Science to get our red mana. So we can play a Pass Caller at some point. So I don't think that we attack. Let's see. If I attack, they're forced to... Maybe I do. But then they can smash. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm getting rid of 2 bodies. The only reason to do this is because I'm going to be able to play Pass Caller, get back Anatomy, and then they won't have enough power to block my Professor. Okay. I think I do it then. So we'll get rid of 2 Inklings off the board. Their attacks still are not great. So now we go Pass Caller. And yeah, I think we just get back Anatomy. I could do Study Break to get another threat, actually. And get back Rescuer, too. I wonder if Rescuer is actually better. Because in Rescuer, yeah, that's pretty good. Because then I can get back Professor and dig up more. That might actually be the best one. So then we can attack with Professor too. and they'd have to double block. They lose 2 more flyers. Those 2 more flyers, but then they can attack for 6. I don't really have a great block that turn. We go to 12. I don't love that. Maybe I have to wait a turn. Because I feel like we still have... I mean, getting 2 of their dudes off the board is good, but... I want to keep their dudes back, too. So I feel like we can build the card advantage here at some point. Alright, so now we can at least go Rescuer. Get back. Probably Professor. Maybe we loot first. Remember to dump the swamp. Alright. And then we can at least go this Professor. And we can dig up Inkling Summoning. So now at least we have lethal next turn. Because we can onslaught the summoning. Uh-oh. Well, maybe we don't have lethal. I mean, we can block 2 of their creatures, play the onslaught on another, plus play a summoning. So it's not the worst. Sure. Well, let's get that off the board. Block here. Alright. So we can kill that. Onslaught. This. Then we loot. Guess we ditch the swamp. Guess we could technically scry with Campus. And pass. I think we'll stop so we can scry on our next turn. No equip. Okay. I'll take it in that case. Guess we'll sack this then. So we need something here. Spirit. I don't think that's good enough. So we'll attack and loot. Guess we die if we don't get something here, but... Alright. Well, it was a close one. But eventually we succumb to the quill. I just don't think Stonerise Spirit does all that much there. I guess it prevents us from dying. We could block a campus guide. That's true. I guess I was just looking for something a little bit better. Better than a 1-2. But ultimately, I mean, it was the difference between living one more turn and not living one more turn. Although, I guess that's not true given their draw of the Professor. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, this is a good hand. The Professor can get us environmental sciences to find a black mana so we can start casting some other things. So I think we'll just dig that up. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So we'll get a black mana. I'm fine killing off the... Well, I guess we don't have to, though. We can attack first. I'm fine if they block. I'm fine if they don't. I think now that they haven't, I probably just kill it now before they get a chance to untap. Snakeskin Veil, big play, do tricks to save it. Alright, that's fine. So now we can at least go Professor. So they can Mage Duel our Professor and get us pretty decently there, but that's alright. Oh, or we take a pretty good trade for us. Now Rescuer can get back Professor, which is just phenomenal, but we need to get the mana first. So I guess I'm willing to trade a Professor for a Symmetress there, so that's fine. Yeah. Don't see Letter of Acceptance all too often. So now I think we just go Boots. And equip. Get a loot. Ooh, Sparring Regiment's a good one. So, I guess we dump the Expel, given that they have a Vigilance dude there. Alright. Still just a land away from looking okay here, so that's fine. Could Divine Gambit. Might be unsafe. Can play Regimen and do a Rummage, which, given that we're missing land drops right now, is probably for the best. So let's dump probably an Archivist. There, we got the land. That's good. So now we can at least go Rescuer or Shield Mage here. Probably Shield Mage, I'm guessing. Alright. Could Divine Gambit the Pledge Mage, but I'm going to go Shield Mage first here and see if they have a removal spell. I'm going to assume they're not bluffing. They could be, in which case they got me pretty good, but we'll find out. Alright, so we have the mana now to go Gambit, kill the Pledge Mage, plus Rescuer. Alright. Guess I could have attacked first for the Sparring Regimen value. Well, that's why Divine Gambit is a terribly dangerous spell. So we'll go Rescuer. So I think we'll chump block the Bayou Graph. Block here, chump block there. If they infuse with Vitality, we're toast anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Or big play, it doesn't matter. I think they actually could have. Did they killed us? I guess not. Yeah, we're super dead, right? I think this probably would have gone fine had we drawn our land. But this was Divine Gambit punishing us for sure. It's the first time in this format Divine Gambit has punished me that badly, but it's what I've always preached against that card, about why that card is so horribly dangerous. I do think it's much better in this format because you have all of like the summoning style spells. So they don't get like free creatures off of that, but yeah, Divine Gambit, horribly dangerous card. And that is about as bad as the punishment can get. We're going to keep this. Study Break's probably going to have to find Environmental Science, but it does make hands like this more keepable, so that's fine. And the nice thing about Study Break is you don't need to actually target anything with it, because it's tap up to 2 target creatures. Alright, so we're going to use Study Break and dig up Environmental Science. So we'll go Science and get our black mana. And I guess we'll just lash the Amplimancer now. So now I'll just go Guardian, Star People, pass. Could have double blocked, I guess. Alright, so we got our 4th land there. Could Divine Gambit. I think we'll just Combat Professor here and then pass. Sure. So, Shield Mage. This is where Divine Gambit's really bad once again. Because they're mana screwed, they likely just have a grip full of creatures. So, something to keep in mind. Main reasons why I dislike Divine Gambit. Actively. Pass Caller I can't play, huh? Alright. No choice. But maybe this draft needed to be like the reminder for me about why I probably just shouldn't pick or play Divine Gambit ever. Which is fair. I did nothing but preach my hatred for this card in Kaldheim. So, fair that I would play it now and get punished by it, is what I'm trying to say. Well, so I can Study Break, Expanded Anatomy, or I can get another flyer. We're doing it now. The main question is, what am I digging up? And I feel like our wisest one is another threat. It's actually a tough choice, because I can get him on a 2-turn clock if I do Anatomy. And I guess it does force them to play a removal. Alright. I think we need to go for the win here. I'm assuming they're making a pest. We'll see. Alright. We'll see for the next one. Alright, it's definitely a keep. I mean, we have all 3 colors. We can use Study Break to find probably Silver Quill. Or Inkling Summoning, rather. But I guess I can just go Regiment into Professor, too. So I'm not sure what I like more. I have so many learns, so I should probably start using them. So then we can go Summoning into Professor into Study Break Sparring Regimen, which is pretty good. Alright, so we'll go Land, Regimen. We'll dig up, I think we'll dig up another creature for now. Just in case. They have something, huh? Alright. Alright, just leave up the Study Break. Alright, that's fine. So if they do like Pigment Storm, at least we have the Study Breaks here. So, let's do the anatomy on the summoning. I want to keep the vigilance dude going there, so alright. We'll see for the next one. This hand is a keep. Once again, the learn aspect of getting environmental sciences, so this draft has definitely been a big realization about how important having environmental science as a lesson is for stuff like this. Just very important. There, I might not have had to do it, I guess. Maybe a reasonable argument not to do it there. I forgot we had Guiding Voice in here. That's kind of cool. So, environmental science now guarantees us Professor next turn, so I'd probably just go for it. Let's do this. We get our summoning. In for 3. Happy to trade if they want to. Do this. And get our red mana. Sure. So we can expel that. They missed their land drop, didn't they? Or did we go first? No, I can't remember. They did, because they played Kelpie Guide, so let's, I'm actually going to expel that. It's not the best use of mana, but if it keeps them off land, I feel like it's good. So we have 5 now. We can go summoning plus hunt for specimens. That's pretty good. And we'll get the anatomy, I think. So for 6 mana, I think we'll just go Professor. And I'm going to Study Break, tap these 2. And I guess we'll get a Spirit Summoning buff here, getting for 4. Tendrils is my guess. What Decisive Denial? I would have slam attacked with the colony there, but it's fine. So we'll go anatomy here. And then I have 4 mana left, so I guess we'll just get in for 4. Leave up the Study Break. Oh, I guess I could have looted there. Well, that's okay. We'll do it here. Sure. I guess technically that auto tap would have worked, but it scared me. I didn't like it. So, yeah. They can chump here. Surprised they didn't. I guess I shouldn't be. They're just a land away from a 4/4. Stayed back there. Well. Oh, you hate to see the Befuddler do something. I think we'll just take it. Alright, so we ended up getting 5 wins with this deck. That's not bad. It was a weird deck too, so it's not the worst. I mean, we didn't even really get to start building it until the middle of like pack 2, so I would say this deck did way better than decks I thought looked way better. So lessons learned from this draft, I would say I still hate Divine Gambit with just a burning passion. I really just hate situational cards like this, where it's like, this card is very good and important sometimes. Other times, horrible card. Some people like those types of effects, apparently, because I remember people praising Divine Gambit during Call Time, where I even thought it was worse. It was Call Time, right? I think so. But I just couldn't disagree more. I really hate situational cards like this. I don't want to say I hate all situational cards, because that's not true. But it's hard to exactly put my finger on what types of situational cards I hate, but this one is definitely in that category. I still think it's playable, but I do hate it. I hate this style of effect, where can be big, can be horribly bad. Maybe I'll make a video on that sometime. Probably not, but we can go over. I'll try and comment more on other situational cards that I hate as we come across them. I don't know what worked so well for this deck. I think it's just the learn mechanic in general. I guess I'm more afraid this format will get stale, just because it does seem like every game's just turning into, I play a learn card to find my Inkling Summoning. I play a learn card to get my Environmental Science. Like, this format is basically Inkling Summoning, Environmental Science, Expanded Anatomy. Almost every single time. So it's almost a good thing we have the Mystical Archive cards to, you know, switch it up a little bit each time. But like I said, this deck did honestly better for me than a lot of decks where I know what I'm building off pack 1. So I don't have a good explanation for that, but let's do some pack 1 pick ones here. Pack 1 pick 1, I would probably take the Combat Professor. Very efficiently costed for what it does. I'm going to try the Bookworm one of these days. I've lost against it enough times where I think it's definitely good. And I agree, something I didn't notice before that I've definitely have accepted now is that this does seem to be an 8-drop format. It does seem to be a very grindy format. I think that's also why it does seem like every game seems to regress into like, late learn, here's my Fractal Summoning. Late learn, here's my Inkling Summoning to go over top. Here's my Elemental Summoning. So here, people have been telling me I'm really sleeping on Eureka Moment. I got to tell you, I'm still not blown away by the way it looks, but I'll have to give it a try and see what I think. Here, the pick might... Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of not excited by any of this. Could just take the lesson. This is one of the more unexciting lessons, though. So probably Eureka Moment or Shadewing Laureate. I guess I'll go for Eureka Moment because I could see what it does. See what it's all about. Here's an easy Blot Out the Sky, super strong mythic. I've gotten to play with it. It does feel dirty. I think we lost. Yeah, we lost against it in this draft, so you got to see how good it is. Here, pretty easy Silver Quill Command. Cool card. Quite a few effects. Here, probably just the Onslaught. Solid removal. Deals with everything at a reasonable cost. Good common. And finally, honestly, I'd probably go Prismari Command over Day of Judgment. I guess this is multicolor, though. Maybe we would go Day of Judgment. Yeah, I guess that's the more prudent pick. Especially pack one, pick one. All right, Day of Judgment over Command. Monocolor, pack one, pick one. You can build around it a little bit more. It's really tough to build around. Like, building around board wipes is not... It's not as easy as like, well, I'll just run a 10-creature deck. Yeah, well, then you're running a 10-creature deck, though. So you're just going to beat your opponent with 10 creatures in your deck? Like, that's not going to work out too well either. So it's tough. You know how I feel about board wipes Unlimited. It's another, you know what it is? It's another situational thing. It's the situation of it that makes it tough, because you can get unbelievably good value from it, or it's sitting in your hand, was a dead card the whole game, and if it had been any other spell, might have been the difference between winning and losing. So that does come up too, and it just seems to come up pretty often with board wipes. But definitely not going to say board wipes are bad. I shouldn't say they're bad. I should just say they're not as good as I think some people think they are in Limited. All right, I've said enough. I've said my piece. I'll see you for the next one.